Good evening, everybody. I promise I will delay you just for a few minutes from the refreshment. And we have to switch the topic a little bit now. We would like to present you the result of historical research, the classical book about Antonín Heythum. At first, I would like to thank to Prague Quadrennial not only to give us the floor here to have a possibility to present you the book as an international audience, but also for supporting preparation of the book. Now we will do a little step backward from nowadays reality about 100 years to 20s of 20th century. Just for the context, maybe for comparison to nowadays reality, I have to say that that time was full of energy, new ideas, new powers, and it was a very new situation when new young artists started their professional work. Now I would like to invite here one of the authors of the book, Vlasta Koubská, who wrote Vlasta wrote chapters focused on stage design and also about the years which Antonín Heythum spent in the United States. I have to mention just a small thing about his life. After the communist revolution here in Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia at that time, he would never been allowed to come back to visit his family, etc. So he was emigrant, and this was another kind of the repression. Before I give you floor, I have to apologize the second author, who is Radomíra Sedláková, and her chapter are focused on architecture, furniture design, exhibition design. Unfortunately, she cannot be here with us today, but we try to improvise her part of this short presentation. Now, floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for invitation here. It is very nice to be here. And we are happy that it finished our 5 years old work. And thanks to Ondřej Svoboda, because he had a lot of work with the text. And it's necessary to say that it was started in US before 5-6 years, because there is a very big collection in Archive of American Arts about the period of Antonín Heythum's life in US. Let me say a few words about the monograph, and let me show a few pictures of that. Okay, thank you. Antonín Heythum's works was known mainly for his constructivistic experiments from the 1920s in our country. These were production of Circus Done Then and When Women Celebrate Something, which he designed for director Jiří Frejka at the Liberated Theatre. However, this was only a short and very small part of his significant work. He was a great set designer, modern architect, furniture maker, industrial designer, author of many theoretical articles and books, and a reputable professor. He always did everything he did in his life with great personal interest and in high quality. Antonín Heythum came from the mining and metallurgical city Ostrava. This is in northern Moravia. He had one brother and two sisters. Thanks to the family of Heythum, we had a lot of pictures and documents from his first period of his life. Thanks to family, UNAC, a scout organization, was founded in 1919 in Ostrava. I show this because Heythum paid attention to moral qualities and had always been interested in public life. He spoke 4 languages, native Czech, French, German and English. But Heythum had a great sense of humor, as his friends remembered him and as his cartoons show. Very early, while still a student, he began collaborating with the Czech First Stage at the National Theatre, where he designed a series of 29 productions. In the book, we also inform about productions that Antonín Heythum was preparing, but in the end, they were not realized. Here are sketches for Shakespeare's The Merry Wives of Windsor. This is the ballet Salade, where he used a modern screen system inspired by Edward Gordon Craig. The idea of farmhouse was based on the visible construction in the production Desire Under the Elms. This is play of Eugene O'Neill. As a functionalistic architect, he used his experience on the stages of contemporary dramas. This is Gravo Soter. In addition to scenography, after 1936, he turned his attention to exhibitions. He soon became one of the most prominent exhibition architects. And at the end of 1938, he left for United States of America to prepare an exhibition of Czechoslovakia at the Golden Gate International Exposition in San Francisco, and to take part in research into modern exhibition methods of 2 large world exhibitions in San Francisco and New York. Heythum collaborated in US with a number of famous modern artists. Here we can see the photo of Man Ray. He was his best friend in America. This is Man Ray's portrait of Charlotta Malecka, wife of Mr. Heythum. She was a very interesting lady. She liked Laban's type of modern dance. Here she is dancing in the garden of the house na Viničních horách in the Prague. In America, he started his work. Heythum started this project of the Golden Gate International Exposition in San Francisco. This is his sketch for that exhibition. As a professor of industrial design, lectured at a number of American universities: New School for Social Research, Columbia University in New York, California Institute of Technology, Syracuse University, and others. As a professor, he founded the Department of Industrial Design in the New School for Social Research. We can see various forms of television screening and a seminar of TV creation. On the right side, this is Mr. Heythum. He approached the creation of industrial design scientifically. Here we see his collaborator, his wife Charlotta. They asked the photographer with an X-ray camera to know the exact position of the spine and fingers to make ideal drinking vessels. After the World War II, he equipped new workshops for students at the Syracuse University. The workshops were full of modern machines. Heythum emphasized the practical and aesthetic side of the field. And here, After the war in 1964, the Heythums had a son, Jan Antonín Heythum, called Poušek. Here is a happy mother, Charlotta, puts her son to sleep. He is in double exposure with a radio designed by Antonín Heythum. During the war, Heythums designed the last two productions. In 1941, Shakespeare's King's Lear, directed by Erwin Piscator, and the play Women in 1942 in Pasadena Playhouse in California. This is on the right side. After that, he focused only on industrial design. And this is
now I will a little bit improvise the second part of presentation about the architecture. This is the design of a unified cabin weekend houses. Please note this special armchair. This was the design of only Heythum realized just a few real houses. He was more focused on furniture design or interior design. This is a functionalist house here in Prague in Baba. And this is the design of his armchair. He very often used his furniture in the theater designs, stage designs. This was his special part. He was very practical, and he tried to create the interior designs, kitchens or other part of interiors. Practically, he thought about the way how the different things are used there. Here are some examples of the bookcases, and here is Heythum in 1930, which was the time when the optimistic era slowly started, finished, and for us is also moment when we have to finish. So this book is prepared for you there in our bookshop. You can become more familiar. You can smell it because it's just 3 or 2 days from printing house and smells nicely. So you can have your own issue. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the Prague.
Thank you, Ondřej and Vlasta. And the book is really wonderful. You can get it over there. It's heavy, but it doesn't matter. Take it with you. Don't try to ship it. It might not make it. We have experience that sometimes it gets stuck at customs. What was wonderful about these two presentations was that we could see how there are really no boundaries between different areas of design and science and such other things, even though one was from the beginning of last century and then the other one was very current. So now is the time when we can conclude our part of the keynote and speeches, and we can celebrate the fact that we're all here together in one space, physically, not on the screen, and we can speak to each other over a glass of bubbly champagne. So please, go ahead and get some drink, and after you drink some and talk some, we'll have a DJ, Pierre Urban, to dance to. Thank you so much.